Alright, I have arrived at the Sheets and Haymarket. You know, I set up a group ride. Today's a bad day. It wasn't supposed to be rainy, but the roads are extremely wet. And I'm actually kind of hoping nobody shows up because I don't really feel like riding when it's wet like this. I am very careful going around corners, but we're going to pull into the Sheets. There's already some riders here. How's it going? Well, Barry did come, which is interesting. So I was just talking to him. He's got a really nice Ducati. He just bought there's quite a few motorcycles here. I guess everybody had the same idea of riding, but unfortunately Barry is like heading back. I don't blame him. I actually thought that nobody would be coming today because it's so nasty out. I might as well take this opportunity to kind of explore some of these little roads that I've always been curious about. And you know, when you have the Super Tenere, it's really comfortable to ride on gravel. I think the only thing is just getting it dirty. You don't want to be one of these ADV guys that only rides to Starbucks. Yeah, so I'm just going to explore some of these roads, do like a small loop, because it's not really that fun to ride on the road when it's wet. But on gravel, you still have the same amount of traction, maybe a little bit less, but it's really beautiful having the Virginia countryside all foggy like this. I don't think a lot of people appreciate this enough, you know, when you have like a rainy day like this. Oh no, they paved this road. On my GPS, the dashed line means that it's gravel. Oh, wait a minute, here's some gravel. You know, I bet the people that live here are not excited about the gravel. But for some reason, when you have a bike like this, you're excited to ride on gravel. Oh, look at that. He's letting me by. Thanks, bud. I want to... See, I waved just so he appreciates his good deed. See, around this area, people are much nicer. Man, there's a killer house inside of here. This is the Middleburg area, so I believe the heiress of the DuPont fortune lives off of here somewhere. See, this is why this area is better. Oh, here's another entrance to that house. You see that? That is a freaking large house. That is amazing. That is huge. Look at this. There's the bald eagle right over there. There's a bald eagle. That, wow, it's so big. This is Virginia, and there's the bike, all dirty. Now my rear brake actually works, but this is the problem with riding when it's wet and on gravel. Look at this, disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But it kind of looks like the way it should. Look at this. That's kind of cool, seeing all of the horses. I think they're going off into a trail. See, this is what rich people do. But I would never be able to see this. This is kind of cool. I don't want to get too close to them. Oh, car coming. So I'll just keep going, but I'll keep my distance. I just don't want to get in the way of these guys. Look at that. But that's badass. Like riding a horse. This is the way it should be done. Right now it's kind of muddy, these roads. Very little gravel. So you have to make sure you slow down a bit. You do spin your tires. I haven't seen a lot of cars, a lot of people. I've seen quite a few horses here. It seems like there's groups of people meeting up to ride horses here. And you have to be really cautious around the horses, because you just don't know if they'll get spooked. There's a house with a gate. Ah, fancy. Look at this little bridge. There's a lot of wineries here too. Here we go. This is a winery. Everybody's out riding today. Even these guys on bicycles. By the way, this is a popular thing that's happening now. It's like riders who are doing gravel riding. Look at these guys. I'm just not interested in freezing to death. cycling. I've done that before I got into motorcycles. I used to ride bicycles every single day to work. That was my commute. And there's people like trying to get some exercise here today. Hey buddy. You know, there's gravel roads are much better for a lot of things like jogging, because now with COVID there's people that use the roads like back roads without any shoulder, and then they're like jogging, and I'm thinking that is just so dangerous. I used to ride the roads all the time around there, and there was nobody on the roads like jogging and walking. But now with COVID, because the gyms are kind of they're closed, people are getting more into the outdoor activities, which is good, but not for their safety. Yeah, you can tell the color of the road here. This is very slippery, very slippery. This is when you want like a nice knobby in the front, especially. You know, the rear, it's easy. If you lose it, it's easier to control, but the front end, man, if it slides on you, that's a bad time. I do have plenty of tread, but my tire is mostly a dual sportish. I think it's like 40% off-road. I mean, if I hit my... oh shit. My front just slid out. You know, I've never really explored Leesburg, Virginia. Leesburg is what, an hour away from DC? This is what Leesburg looks like. But I kind of like the area here, but this is of course Loudon County, and Loudon County is one of the most expensive counties in America, I believe. Oh, this is the WOD trail. Look at all these bicyclists. Look at all the bicyclists. That trail goes all the way to Washington. Wow, that's a big group. Wow. All their bikes cost more than my motorcycle. That is funny. And this is kind of like brand new, these condos. But that's the WOD trail. Very interesting. I think I want to just ride around a bit this area and see what else is there. This is the center, the historic part of Leesburg. Here's a little coffee shop. Wow, I think I'll go straight and like look at the town. Is beautiful. This is a pretty town, even when it's wet. Georgetown Cafe and Bakery Shop. Art Gallery. Oh, you know that's rich. Look at that crappy sculpture over there of a guy sitting around. Wow, that's a nice alley. Black Hoof Brewing Company. King Street Oyster Bar. Ugh. All of these cities, they decorate really well for Christmas. Look at that, it's really nice. Loudon County Courthouse. That's it on the right there with a Christmas tree. Lucky Knot Downtown Saloon. Shoes, Cup and Cork. Yeah, see, this is the place where women drag you to on a date. They make you spend like $100 on dinner. You know what, I'm gonna go here. Cornwall Street. Wow, very cute area. Leesburg is like super cute, the little downtown area. Don't even ask what the prices of these houses are. I mean, this is one of the most expensive counties in America, and it's only like an hour away from Washington. So the real reason that people like it here is because the public schools are really good. This is also what's been happening. It's in the news, this county, the Loudon County school system, because of some, what is it called, that critical race theory stuff. So this is the area. So we're heading back into the old town. Ooh, let's go in here. Look at these cute little houses next to garages now. See, that's the thing. People don't want to move, but they're just building garages because this is a popular area. What's there to see here in Leesburg? Downtown Leesburg. You don't need to write that on the walls. We know it's downtown Leesburg. But you see all of these like brand new condos. Yeah, I like this area. Oh, they have a nice park here. Let's go check it out. Ooh, bike shop. This is the bicycle trail right here. Yeah, there's quite a bit to look at here. There's a homeless guy over there. Huh, Leesburg has got a homeless guy. Yeah, these are the poor people right here. You can tell. That's where I would buy a house if I could afford it here. Probably like $1 million each. That's the poor people of Loudon. Buying like $1 million houses. Yeah, these are nice houses. And here's that bike trail again. I'm just like doing like little zigzags. Yeah, this is definitely very cute looking. Can I go this way? Yeah, there's all of these little cute stores. This area does remind me a little bit like Annapolis, Maryland. That looks kind of historic, that mansion. Now this area looks like Maryland. We're coming up on something very interesting. This is the White's Ferry. It's been closed, but that's Maryland. That's White's Ferry, Maryland. And you could have taken the ferry from that side to here, but because of this farm, which I believe is called White's Ferry Farm, all of this part of the ferry belongs to Virginia, and there's a dispute between the ferry operators and the farm owners. The farm owners want this outrageous sum of money to keep the ferry operational, and then the ferry guys are like, you know what, never mind, we're just not going to do it. But this is a shortcut into Maryland. Otherwise you have to go on Route 15 all the way north for like 30 miles and then come back south. This is the shortcut, so you would just take the ferry. I believe it was like $3 or $4. But you see this farm here, that's what they're complaining about, the amount of money that the ferry brought in. They wanted to up the charges, so they lost all the revenue, unfortunately. But that also means that the ferry is just not existing anymore. Yeah, so that's kind of like what happens when you're greedy. It's fairly warm for December 31st here in the DC area, and you know, riding the Super Tenere, it's kind of amazing because you never get tired. Normally, if I did a ride like this on a sport bike, I'd be a little bit worn out. Like, it's so comfortable riding in gravel, so comfortable riding on the road that you just don't feel tired very much. And a lot of people are like thinking, maybe I need to get a sport touring machine or this and that. This thing, the adventure, the large open class adventure bikes are just so much more comfortable. I don't think I could be as comfy as if I was riding it like a Tenere 700. You know, if you've ridden something of that size, you know that they wear you out a little bit more, especially with a thin seat. But this bike, it's been extremely good, and I already have 70,000 miles on it, and it still behaves as if it's brand new. So that goes to show you how good these bikes are. I think there's like a few downsides to this model year. If you can afford it and you're looking for a Super Tenere, you should look at the 2014s and up. But I find that the early gen Super Teneres, those are the best deals. So when you get one of these, it just seems like you get so much for your money. You know, $5,000 for an open class Super Tenere or an EDV bike, it makes a lot of sense. But I am considering riding this thing to Mexico and even, you know, Alaska. I think really the only downside of this particular bike is the gas tank. You know, like I hate that I have to fuel up at 170. I wish that it got better range. You know, I know that it's an open class bike, but the tank seems fairly small at 6 gallons. You know, even the NC 700, that's one of the downsides. They made it really fuel efficient, but the range is so limited. It's like 200 miles, but you're getting like 70, 80 miles to the gallon. This one's like 45 miles to the gallon. So, yeah, and now with the aux lights, I have a very good view of the road, and even at night. I do have to adjust these. These keep like moving up. Yeah, I kind of wish that the headlights were a little bit better too, but just by putting the LED bulb on this, that made it a very big difference in lighting. But that light bar, I mean, that thing, even in daylight, that's a good way of cars seeing you on the road. I kind of like that. It feels like a safety thing. But I think you would get this bike as opposed to the 10RA 700 for the shaft drive. You know, the shaft drive makes such a big difference. Not a lot of people talk about it, but the BMW GS guys, they know why those GSs have shaft drives. Of course, their shaft drives are a little bit more fragile, but the shaft drive in a bike makes so much sense. I don't think I would go back to a chain drive for long distance riding. I kind of feel like this is the way to go. Get a shaft driven ADV bike and just riding it for hundreds of thousands of miles. Well guys, that's the ride for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. This is the what? $125 for illegal parking? What on earth? I'm kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.